Peter, I'm just curious, as a fan of hockey, which you are, what does it mean to have the Final Four happening at Madison Square Garden, one of the oldest and most famous buildings in hockey?
I think, I say this about players sometimes. I think you grow to appreciate Madison Square Garden, the history of the New York Rangers, the fan base. I think you grow to appreciate that more when you're in it and you're living it every day. You see how special it is. You see the passion in the fans, which is unbelievable. The passion in this fan base is incredible. The building, the history that goes behind this team is pretty special. So to be here at this point is, it's a great thing for all of us.
Stay on the right.
Yeah, Peter, just going off the passion of the fans and the history of the franchise. I know you're aware that the last cup was '94, and it seems like the fan base, when these runs have happened recently, you could feel how hungry they are for that to end. So I'm curious, does that something that you feel around the city, that you're aware of, that has crossed your mind at all during this run?
Yeah, you definitely feel it. Well, they let you know. They're pretty quick to let you know that they're ready. And they're unbelievable. I think about the fan. I think about not only the support here in the city, surrounding the city, and MSG, and the fans that come to the game. I think about the fan base that's really all over the world, all over the country. We go to different rinks. We're going down to Carolina. We're going to Washington. We go to Florida. It's amazing to me how many fans show up from wearing the Rangers colors at an away building, and loud. There's a group right behind the bench in Carolina the other night, pounding the glass, letting us know that they're there, letting the players know they're there. They're just, they love their team, they love the city, and you're right, they're hungry, and so that's a good thing. It's awesome to be a part of, and I do think you appreciate it more when you're on the inside and you get to see it on a daily basis.
Left side in the back.
What's the biggest reason why Lafreniere has taken such a huge step this season?
I think there's probably been a lot of good work done before I even got here. Just you're young players. He's still very young, as far as his career goes. And I think that there's a lot of coaching and work that goes into young players. And then you hope to see a rise in their performance and their play. And I think that's been there prior to this. And now this year, I think with the opportunity that he's gotten to play with the players that he's had a chance to play with the entire year, the confidence that he's been able to gain from that, I think with the development, with the maturity, and now an opportunity maybe to get out there with a guy like Trocheck or Panarin. It's really started to take off for him. And with that, I think comes confidence in a player and the way he plays the game.
Right side in the back.
Peter, as you become healthier as a team, with players like Hedl and Wheeler perhaps becoming available for you, outside of the medical criteria, when you've got a player who's been out for such a long period of time, what's the criteria you go through as a coach to make that decision of whether or not to insert them into the lineup?
Well, you'd love to play more players than you have, but you can only play so many players, and so you have to make tough decisions as players become available. You base it on how your team's playing, how individuals are playing, what you might need in a series. There's lots of things that go into it. But I think getting the players out there just involved in practice, the guys that have been out for a while involved in practice, and getting into that grind and that battle and the conditioning and the speed and the compete, you start to see that in practice too as they start to move towards a possible entry into the lineup. And with that, there has to be a hole in the lineup. There has to be a spot for them. And so it's a balance, I think, that we're looking at as a coaching staff every day.
Left side, fifth row.
Peter, I know you have the experience and you seem to be pretty calm, but are you a little bit nervous the day of Eastern Finals, first day?
Not really. There's an excitement that goes with it. I think you get a little bit anxious at times, and but not to the point where you're not calm. You can't think or you can't do things. The player's probably the same way. I do think that there's a feeling that we're ready. We've had time off here and getting healthy and getting a chance to rest and getting a chance to look at Florida. Now, granted, they had the same thing, so that kind of makes it even, but I think you can grab some confidence from that and the work that you put in the entire year, certainly recently in the last few days, to go into a game tonight. You feel like you're ready to go, and now we got to drop the puck. I'm sure everybody's going to be happy when we just drop the puck at 8 o'clock or just shortly after 8 o'clock tonight, just to start playing this series and get it going. I'm sure Florida's thinking the same thing. Like, let's play. It's been a long time since we've had that game since Carolina, and they've had a few days as well, and lots of practices, lots of meetings. They're probably sick of the meetings, and they just want to drop that puck and play.
We'll do a couple more over on the right.
Hey, Peter.
Hey.
I'd asked you in the first round how you quantify pressure, and I'm just curious, as you get further along here, does that pressure build up, or as you get closer, does it sort of dwindle, knowing how close you are?
There's definitely a hype that goes. There's no question. Getting out of the first round, I always think is the challenge. The 16, just get to the 8. Be part of the 8, and from there, and then you've got to win a series. And now that you've gotten here, it kind of moves down a little bit from there. But I think there's always a little bit of pressure. When you get in and you're in part of that 16, you want to get out of that first round. It changes a little bit, magnifies, ramps up a little bit. I think everybody feels that. But like I said, at the end of the day, that puck is going to drop tonight shortly after 8 o'clock, and we got to go out and make sure that we're playing and doing the things that we want to do, and that gives us the best chance of being successful. So whatever you're feeling, you got to kind of push that off to the side and just focus on the game and what you want to bring to the table.